There's something so sweet and so charming about this ultra simple window pane crochet stitch pattern. It's super easy to do. All you'll need to know how to do in order to do this pattern is chaining and double crochet. I think it's great for large projects like throws and blankets, and also for light scarves and gifts. I'm using this anti-pilling everyday DK yarn from Premier in the color Cherry. The recommended size hook is 4 millimeters, but I do prefer a tighter stitch, so I will be using a Loops and Threads 3.5 millimeter aluminum hook. I really like the Loops and Threads hooks, but if you happen to have a pointier hook, it may come in handy for this particular pattern because you will have to crochet through chains, which can get tricky and is a bit easier with a pointy hook. We're going to chain in a multiple of 12 plus 1. So that means you're going to make it as big as you want in a multiple of 12 and then add on 1 stitch at the end. Here I am chaining 37. I'll meet you at the end of the chain. After you have chained as many chains as you would like for your project, I've chained 37, which is a multiple of 12, 36 plus 1. We're going to start row 1. Now, the beginning of this row is going to sound a little bit confusing, but let's do it together. We're going to chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet, and then you're going to chain 2, which counts as chaining 2. Now we're going to go into the first row. We're going to start the first row repeat by double crocheting into the 9th stitch from your hook. So this counts as a double crochet, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, double crochet. Now we're going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and we're going to place 7 double crochets, 1 in each of the next 7 stitches. So I prefer to work my first row into the back bumps of the foundation chain, but if you prefer to go directly through the chain stitches, that's totally fine too. There's no hard and fast rule about this. Once you've completed your 7 double crochets, you'll chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and place a double crochet in the next stitch. Now chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and place a double crochet there. That's the first of 7. So you'll place a double crochet in every stitch for the next 6 stitches for a total of 7 double crochets in a row. So you should have something that looks like this. Next, we're going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and place a double crochet into the next stitch. Now chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and place another double crochet into the following stitch. Now you'll place a double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. And that should take you all the way to the end of this first row. It's a little tricky getting that last stitch, but don't miss it. Now you'll chain 3, and that chain 3 will count as the first double crochet for row 2. But let's take a look at what we have. So you should have 3 groups of 7 double crochets and 3 groups of 2 little squares. Now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to start on the second row. Since that chain of 3 counts as your first double crochet, don't crochet into that first base stitch. Crochet into the second one, place a double crochet there, and place a double crochet on top of each of the double crochets in the previous row for a total of 7 double crochets, counting that chain 3 as a double crochet. Next, you'll chain 2, and then skip those 2 chains and place a double crochet on top of that lonely single double crochet in the middle. Now chain 2 again, and place a double crochet on top of each of the 7 double crochets in the row below. You've made your first little window. Now chain 2, skip the 2 chains and place a double crochet on top of the lone double crochet in the previous row. Chain 2, skip the 2 chains and place a double crochet on top of each of the 7 double crochets in the row below. So far, so good. Chain 2, skip the 2 chains and place a double crochet in the lone double crochet in the row below. Chain 2. Now find the third chain of that turning chain that you did and place a double crochet in the third chain. Chain 3, and let's take a look at what we have. So now you have 3 windows and 3 sets of 7 double crochet. Still a little floopy, but it'll all come together as we go along. Let's turn our work and start row 3. Now we're going to double crochet into the first chain. This is when a pointy hook would come in really handy. And we're going to double crochet into the second chain. Now we're going to place a double crochet on top of that double crochet from the previous row. We're going to double crochet into the chain that comes right after it. Double crochet into the chain that comes after that one. And then double crochet on top of the first double crochet in that group of 7. Now chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and double crochet in the next one. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and double crochet into the next double crochet. Now we're going to carry on we're going to double crochet into the chain that comes right after that last double crochet. And we'll double crochet into the chain next to that one. Remember, there are 2 chains in between each double crochet. Now we'll double crochet on top of that double crochet that's in the middle, double crochet into the chain after that, double crochet into the following chain, and double crochet into that first double crochet in that group of 7. Now chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and double crochet into the following double crochet. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and double crochet into the last double crochet in that group of 7. And we'll carry on. We're going to double crochet into the chain right after that double crochet. We'll double crochet into the chain after that one. And we'll double crochet into the top of that double crochet. Double crochet into the chain after that. And double crochet into the chain after that. And double crochet into the top of that first double crochet in that group of 7. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, double crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and double crochet into the top of that chain 3 turning chain. Chain 3, and that counts as the first double crochet in the next row. And let's take a look at what we have. Because I'm using a DK yarn, and specifically an acrylic, very soft DK yarn, this particular pattern is a little bit floopy until it becomes a substantial size. So we're going to chain 2 in the next round, and we're going to go right into a double crochet into that center double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into the first double crochet in that group of 7, and we're going to double crochet in every other double crochet in that group. So 6 more double crochets. Now we'll chain 2 and skip those chains and double crochet into that center double crochet, chain 2, skip the next 2 chains and double crochet into the first double crochet in that group of 7, and then continue to double crochet in all the other double crochets in that group. So 6 additional double crochets. Chain 2, skip the next 2 chains and double crochet into the top of that double crochet, chain 2, skip the next 2 chains, and place a double crochet in the top of each of the remaining double crochets in this row. It's a pretty straightforward pattern, and it looks cuter and cuter and like daintier and daintier and prettier somehow. It's so simple as you go along. That is the end of the 4-row repeat. And of course, you should feel free to make this as large or as small as you like. There's something about a grid pattern like this that I think makes yarns of all kinds look super nice because it helps organize variegated yarn and give some semblance and pattern to self-striping yarn. I love a crochet grid type pattern. And I love that it's so simple. And once you get the hang of it, this is just a 4-row repeat. You just keep doing this. You can sort of keep on doing this without thinking very much about it. In the beginning, there's a lot of counting. But afterwards, once you get the hang of it, it's easy breezy. So I'm going to continue crocheting a few more rows. Feel free to stick around and crochet with me. Or if you have the hang of it already, I hope you put this to good use and have a great project come out of it. I will see you at the end of this video. So I'm going to wrap up this demo at the end of this row. I will probably single crochet all the way around this sample just to give it a bit more of a frame, a little bit of tension, a little bit of shape. I definitely think that doing this in a soft DK yarn, it would be helpful to have a border on it just to give it a little bit more structure. But of course, that's up to your personal preference. Thank you so much for watching this stitch tutorial. I hope you have a beautiful project come out of this. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.